Today's topic is a day in my life. And for this episode, we have Mark with us. He's a pilot and he's going to share what his typical day looks like.
Yes, I work as a pilot for an international airline, and I'll walk you through what a normal day is like for me.
So, let's get started, Mark. What time does your day usually start?
Well, it really depends on the flight schedule. Morning flights are the hardest. I usually wake up around 4:30 or 5 a.m. It's brutal at first, but you get used to it.
Wow, that's early. How do you even motivate yourself to get out of bed that early?
Honestly, some mornings it's really hard. I just keep telling myself I have a job to do, and there's no time to waste. I check the flight details on my phone, put on my uniform, grab a quick bite and coffee, and somehow my body just kicks in. Once I'm in the plane, everything feels normal, like my brain finally wakes up.
Do you have a special morning routine like stretching or something to wake up?
Yeah, I always try to hydrate first. Then a quick stretch. It's amazing how much a few minutes of movement wakes you up. And mentally, I run through the flight in my head so I feel prepared.
Yes, and I can imagine it must be hard to wake up sometimes, especially after a late night flight.
Definitely. Some mornings I just want to sleep longer, but once I'm up, the adrenaline kicks in. Flying keeps you alert in ways nothing else can.
Now, let's talk about breakfast. Do you eat a lot or just something light?
Always light. Usually eggs, some fruit, and coffee. I need to feel comfortable and sharp, not heavy. You know, airlines even serve pilots separate meals from the crew to avoid any risk of food issues.
Really? So pilots never get the same meals as the rest of the crew?
Rarely. Safety first. They make sure we don't risk stomach problems mid-flight. I mean, we need to be fully alert, so it's worth it.
Makes sense. Sounds like even your mornings are on duty. Every small habit matters.
Of course, from the time I wake up to what I eat to the little stretches, I've learned that small routines make a huge difference when you're responsible for hundreds of people in the air.
Yes, your job requires a lot of responsibility. So after you leave home, what happens next?
I usually arrive at the airport about 2 hours before the flight. First, we have a briefing with the crew. We discuss the flight route, weather conditions, and any special instructions for that day. Then, together with the co-pilot, I check the aircraft systems to make sure everything is safe.
Sounds very detailed. What's the most important part of this preparation for you?
For me, it's reviewing the weather. Weather can change everything, delays, turbulence, even the route.
So, do you have to check anything else besides the weather and flight plan?
Oh yes, we also review fuel requirements, passenger and cargo weight, and emergency procedures. Every little detail matters. Even a small mistake can cause problems mid-flight.
Wow, that sounds stressful. How do you stay focused with so many things to check?
Practice and routines help a lot. After years of flying, these checks become almost automatic. Still, I always double-check everything, especially before takeoff.
And what about the co-pilot? How do you work together during this preparation?
We split the responsibilities. While I check the flight instruments, the co-pilot checks communication systems and other controls. Then we review each other's checks to make sure nothing is missed. It's a team effort.
I get it, and do you ever find anything unusual during these checks?
Sometimes, maybe a minor system alert or a small maintenance issue. If that happens, we report it and work with ground staff to fix it before the flight. Safety always comes first.
It sounds like a lot of responsibility. Does this part of your job ever make you nervous?
Honestly, the first few years, yes. But now, preparation gives me confidence. If everything checks out before takeoff, I know we're ready for a smooth flight.
Do you have any little rituals or habits before stepping into the plane?
Funny you ask, I always take a deep breath, put on my headset, and give a quick mental run-through of the route. It's like my personal ready set, go moment.
That's interesting. So, the preparation isn't just technical, it's also mental.
Yeah, flying is about skill, knowledge, and staying calm under pressure. Preparation helps with all three.
Now, I want to ask a question that I'm really curious about. Do passengers often try to talk to you?
Sometimes passengers try to talk to me, especially at the gate or after landing. They usually ask things like, "How's the weather up there?" Or, can we see the cockpit?
I can see that it must be interesting to have all those curious eyes on you.
Yeah, it's fun most of the time, but also a little hectic. Some passengers get really excited, and I have to gently explain the rules about cockpit access. And the cabin crew, we're like a family during the flight. We joke, share stories, and look out for each other.
Sounds nice. Having that trust must make a huge difference on long flights.
Definitely, you really rely on each other, especially during long-haul flights. We have our own little routines, like a signal if someone needs a quick break, or sharing a snack quietly when one of us hasn't had time to eat.
That's kind of sweet. It must feel comforting to have that support up in the air.
Yes, and sometimes passengers recognize me from previous flights, which is kind of cool. They wave or ask how their last flight was. Most people, though, just enjoy the ride quietly.
I bet you get some funny or unusual questions too.
Oh, plenty. Can the plane really fly upside down? Or, do pilots eat the same meals as the crew? Some ask if the autopilot can fly better than us. I always answer with a little humor. It keeps the atmosphere light and passengers relaxed.
And I'm curious, what happens once the passengers leave? Is it finally time to relax, or do you still have work to do?
Once the passengers leave and the plane is on the ground, the work isn't over yet. We still have the flight report to write, hand over the aircraft, and check with the ground crew if there are any technical issues. Only after that do I finally head to the hotel or back home.
So when you land, do you get the chance to explore the city, do anything fun, or do you miss your family?
It really depends on the schedule. Sometimes I just crash after landing, especially after a long flight. But if there's a bit of free time, I like to take a short walk, grab a coffee, or explore a little. Even a quiet street or a small market can feel refreshing after hours in the cockpit.
That sounds wonderful. Have you ever found a favorite spot in a city you visit often?
Yes, for example, in Rome there's a tiny cafe with the best pastries I've ever had. I always try to stop there. It became a little personal retreat for me.
That's lovely. And do you also try local food in these cities?
Absolutely. The pastries, a small sandwich, or even a coffee, it's the small experiences that make the trip memorable.
Do you ever meet other travelers or locals during these little adventures?
Sometimes, I've had interesting conversations with locals in Rome about the city's history or hidden spots. It's a nice change from airports and hotels.
That's really cool. Do these moments help you feel less homesick?
Definitely, but I still miss my family. Calls and messages help, but nothing replaces being home. Sometimes I feel guilty for missing birthdays or special events.
I can imagine. It must be tricky balancing work and family life.
It is, but those small moments make it worthwhile. Even sharing a laugh with the crew or walking through a quiet street after a long day. It resets your energy.
Speaking of the crew, do you spend time together outside work?
If there's time, we might have a meal or walk around the city. Once in Rome after a long flight, we took a short walk along the river and just watched the sunset. It was simple but unforgettable.
That sounds magical. Do passengers ever leave you with funny or memorable stories too?
Oh, plenty. Kids especially, they ask the funniest questions about the cockpit. Once a little boy asked if the plane could do flips like in cartoons. I just laughed and explained, not quite, but we keep it exciting in other ways.
That's adorable. It must make your job even more rewarding.
Absolutely. Those small interactions, laughs, smiles, or simple curiosity make the long days feel meaningful.
And what about your downtime? Sleep is obvious, but do you have other ways to relax?
I like quiet walks, reading, or sometimes journaling about the day. Sometimes I sat on a small bench overlooking the river at sunset. Just sitting there, watching the city, it felt like the perfect reset after a 12-hour day.
That sounds perfect. A mix of reflection, small adventures, and human connections.
Yes, long hours, busy schedules, and challenges, but those small joys, little discoveries, and memories with crew or passengers make it all worthwhile.
I love that. It really shows how much this job is about responsibility and those meaningful, tiny moments that make it rewarding. And that's the end of today's podcast. Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing your stories and experiences. It's been amazing to hear about life as a pilot. And thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and keep exploring.